Who is going to end the title run of Roman Reigns? Let's talk about that in today's Wrestling Ramble. Roman Reigns has been on an incredible run, not just with the title, but with his character, with his faction. Everything about Roman Reigns is spectacular. Now, maybe some are starting to get tired of it. And it's not so much that fatigue is setting in with Roman Reigns being champion. In my opinion, I don't think that's it. What I think it is, more than anything, is that WWE had a golden opportunity to have him lose the title. And that was at WrestleMania against Cody Rhodes. I feel like most believe Cody should have won. The people in the arena wanted that to happen to the point where they were so deflated. And at this point, you just have to ask, what are we trying to accomplish with Roman Reigns if we're WWE? If you're looking at this, what are we trying to do? Are we trying to just simply at this point hit the 1,000 day mark as champion and be able to say that he's been champion for over 1,000 days? We're trying to get to that? Okay, understandable. But 900 some odd days that it's been is still a pretty damn big number, right? That is a huge milestone, and that's got to be the longest modern era title reign for WWE. He's not going to beat Bruno Sammartino's reign of nearly 8 years. It's just not going to happen. It shouldn't happen. But if we're just trying to get to 1,000 days, so be it. Now, I want to talk about who were some potential candidates to beat Roman Reigns, to dethrone him as champion. Makes it a bit more interesting now that we have the recent draft and, of course, prior to that, the unveiling of a new world title. And I even saw a report not long ago that right now there's no talk of having the WWE and Universal title be merged into one, which I don't even know what we're doing at this point. We have 3 world titles now. So aside from having another world title, which, let's just be honest here, anyone who holds that world title is going to be seen as lesser than, in contrast to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is going to still be the champion. He is still the undisputed champion. Like I said, who knows what they'll do with those 2 belts. If they're really keeping all 3, I don't even know. But when it comes to who could beat Roman Reigns, that's a really good question because he has defended the title and beaten a lot of people. This is from sacknilk.com, www.sacknilk.com. They've also compiled his defenses at house shows, but just to quickly go over this. So most recently, Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. He defended against Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber, Kevin Owens at the Royal Rumble, Logan Paul at Crown Jewel. I'm just going to stick with those that aren't live events. Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle, Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, Riddle on SmackDown. He has beaten Drew McIntyre, good grief, at least 20 times, according to this bunch of live events. Brock Lesnar defeated him. Brock can never challenge for the title again. Defeated Goldberg, Rey Mysterio, Edge at Money in the Bank. Mysterio was on SmackDown. John Cena at SummerSlam. Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, and the list goes on and on. We don't need to read the entire thing, but you get the point. He's defeated a lot of people, and we're running out of contenders. He's run through everyone, and you pose the question, who could beat him? And I've compiled a short list. Just went to WWE.com, looked at the Superstar section, and looked for people that I think could possibly beat him. So let's run through them real quick. First and foremost, got to start it out with Cody Rhodes. He is still the most likely to beat Roman Reigns and take the titles off of him, or title, depending on what they do there. Now, one of the reasons that Cody Rhodes is the most likely candidate to defeat Roman Reigns is a recent report. This is from Give Me Sport. It says a rematch between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes is on the table for WrestleMania 40. Give Me Sport has learned. In an exclusive interview, WrestleVotes explains that the main event of WrestleMania next year might end up being the exact same as the closing match to this year's show. A lot could change, with the show still 11 months away, but Rhodes versus Reigns 2 is something that Triple H is considering for the 40th WrestleMania event. WrestleMania XL takes place in Philadelphia next year, and planning for the event, despite it not taking place for close to a year, is already underway. With regards to what the main event could be, WrestleVotes tells Give Me Sport that a rematch between Cody and Roman is on the table and definitely in the running to close next year's show. I can say this, The rematch that's at the forefront of everybody's minds, Cody versus Roman, is very much on the table to main event in Philadelphia next year. WrestleVotes didn't explain how that match could end up finishing, but fans did speculate after the ending to Cody and Roman's match at this year's WrestleMania that the story may continue into next year's show. So there you have it. We could be in for another year of Roman Reigns being a dominant champion and coming back to Cody Rhodes for the rematch at WrestleMania 40, and finally Cody Rhodes winning the title his father never held. And that's really the best storyline here, even after the initial loss at Mania, is Cody Rhodes finishing the story, getting the belt off of Roman. So out of all of these people, even though I haven't gone over them just yet, Cody Rhodes is still the most likely candidate to me. Then we've got Sami Zayn. Of course, he came up short against Roman Reigns as well. This was an option, I feel like, for WWE, given the star power of Sami Zayn. He would have blown the roof off if he had won the belt in Montreal. That would have been crazy. There's still something you can do with Sami. I think it makes it a little more difficult. The waters are a bit murkier now with him being an undisputed tag champion with Kevin Owens. I don't think he necessarily needs it, but there is something you could do there. He's still a potential candidate despite his loss and being in a tag team with Owens right now as champions. But moving on, we have Gunther, who's the current Intercontinental Champion. How you structure this would be very interesting because Roman Reigns is, by all intents and purposes, a heel. You wouldn't want that against Gunther because I don't see Gunther being a babyface. Maybe he can be, but I don't see babyface Gunther beating Roman Reigns, and heel versus heel makes no sense in this regard. They can do that in theory, but I don't think they should lean towards that. And I would say that Gunther is probably not going to beat Roman Reigns for the undisputed title. Moving on, we've got Austin Theory. Same issue here, especially after all the failed Money in the Bank cash-ins. I don't think there's an outlet for Theory to be challenging Roman Reigns for the undisputed title. He needs to be focused on defending the US title and then moving up from there. But once again, same issue. We don't want to do heel versus heel, and more than likely Austin Theory is not going to be a babyface against Roman. Moving on, we've got Big E. I feel like nobody is talking about Big E potentially coming back and winning the title. That's something you could do, especially since he's been out for so long, recovering from his broken neck. That would be a great triumphant return story. There is something you could do there. Of course, he's a big-time babyface, so it works. Then we've got Bray Wyatt. Personally, would not be interested in seeing Wyatt versus Reigns. I think you need to keep Wyatt as far away from Roman as possible. I'm just not into Wyatt, and I'm not trying to dump on him, but his storylines have just been very corny and too supernatural, and Roman Reigns is very serious and believable. I would keep Bray as far away from Roman as I possibly could. Then we've got Braun Strowman. We've been there, done that with him as Universal Champion. I forget the exact circumstances to how he even became Universal Champion, but that was not the plan for him to be a world title holder. I don't see Braun Strowman beating Roman Reigns, but you could definitely do a program with him at some point because Roman Reigns is going to need to beat people if he's going to hold the title until WrestleMania 40. If we're going to do a whole nother year, he needs contenders, so Braun Strowman is definitely one that can contend. Next is Karrion Kross. This is someone who is definitely championship material, and if the creative forces are behind him, you can make this into your next big star. Of course, we've got the issue of him being a heel, so it would be interesting to see how that played out in a storyline against Roman Reigns. I unfortunately don't think he beats Roman for the title. You need to do something with Kross, and he needs to be world champion at some point in time. But until that day, then we've got LA Knight. Now this is a feud I want to see. I want to see LA Knight versus Roman Reigns. I don't think LA Knight beats Roman Reigns, but there's a contender right there. LA Knight is doing really well for himself. He's getting the crowd behind him. Just an all-around performer is LA Knight. He is the full package. That's someone that he should definitely face Roman Reigns for the title. I just don't see him winning it. Then we've got Seth Rollins. Rollins has challenged Reigns in the past. He has victories over Reigns. You could do that storyline. Now, of course, Rollins is on Raw now, which is why I don't like having another world title. Why can't we just have one and the champion is on both brands? But I digress. Let's not get too far into that. I don't see Seth Rollins doing that. Seth Rollins is probably going to contend for the new world title on Raw. I've even seen reports that he's the likely candidate to win, which isn't the most surprising, but it's interesting to say the least. I don't even know how I feel about Seth Rollins. He's great in the ring. He's decent on the mic. He's got a good look, but the constant cackling, like, what is his gimmick? What is he doing? Why do you do that? You're just a guy that cackles and gets the fans to do your oh, whoa. I don't understand Seth Rollins at all. Last but certainly not least, we've got Solo Sikoa. This is going to be an interesting one, and I did a little bit of a deeper dive on Sikoa for a different video, but to keep it brief, there are reports, this is from months back, Dave Meltzer said with Solo, he was talking about a match Solo had on SmackDown that ended in a double countout. It says, with Solo, they ended in double countout because they're not going to beat Solo. They're saving Solo for Roman whenever that day comes. Here would be my take on that. You could do that. You could have Solo eventually face Roman. That's probably on the back burner. They're going to do that at some point, and that's fine. That's a great idea. The only thing I would say is I would do that after Roman has lost the title. So we get to, let's say, WrestleMania 40. Cody Rhodes beats Roman Reigns for the belt or belts. Still don't know what we're doing there. And then after that, you do the feud with Solo, and you have Solo go over Roman after he is no longer champion. Because if it's going to be for the titles, I really don't see Solo beating him. That's a possibility. I just don't think it's a great one. Out of all of these people, I still think Cody Rhodes is the most likely candidate to defeat Roman Reigns for the undisputed title. What do you guys think? Did I miss anyone? Is there someone you think that is going to dethrone Roman Reigns or has potentially a good chance at doing so? Please let me know in the comments. I want to hear from you. Like I said, I still think it is Cody Rhodes. Solo Sikoa would be somewhat of a dark horse in that regard. You could still do something with Sami Zayn. LA Knight's there as a contender. Big E is there as a contender when he does make his triumphant return. Ultimately, I think it's going to be Cody Rhodes. And as I said, be sure to let me know what you guys think about this, and I'll see y'all in the next one.